Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I'm glad to report from our bedroom that we got another episode of Questionable TikToks. Yeah, we got a big team behind us. Everything here is
Pause.
high quality, big production out here. But yeah, now you know, guys. I was trying to hide it, but there's no point. You guys will just find out eventually. But without any further ado, let's just jump into the video.
This might be the last generation to ever experience school the way you remember it, because countries around the world are now experiencing the biggest shift in education in 100 years. China just announced that starting in September, AI education will be mandatory for students as young as 6 years old. And this isn't just a coding class, it is a national strategy to prepare students for a future dominated by AI. Meanwhile, in the United States, you have the Secretary of Education saying this.
I heard that there is a school system that's going to start making sure that first graders or even pre-Ks have A1 teaching, every year starting, that far down in the grades. Okay, let's see A1 and how can that be helpful?
Now, to be fair to the US, AI in classrooms is even happening in the US as well. Several states have recently passed bills mandating AI in course curriculums. South Korea will become the first nation in the world to introduce AI textbooks nationwide. These digital books will collect real-time data on students' performances, giving them continuous feedback as they learn. They can also adapt the pace and difficulty of the material to each student's personal needs. And for teachers, they get sent all of this data, allowing them to see each student's performance like never before. Over in the UK, a recent survey showed that 60% of teachers already use AI for things like marking work. And then over in Canada, another survey showed that over 80% of students are claiming AI-produced content as their own original work. So we really got AI-generated schoolwork then being marked by more AI. And similar things with AI are happening in classrooms in parts of Europe, India, Africa, and the Middle East. But is this a problem? Well, on the one hand, you have critics who worry that kids are no longer learning or retaining knowledge, while supporters say AI isn't going away. And if we don't teach kids how to use it now, we risk leaving an entire generation unprepared for a world they're inheriting. It's kind of like when our teachers told us we needed to memorize our times tables because we wouldn't always have a calculator in our pocket. Yeah. So the question is this the big change that the education system has been needing for decades? Or is it just the beginning of something we'll regret?
Well, what I do have to say about this is China is always ahead, but truth be told, the United States is right behind them. If you really look at it, it seems a little bit weird because if the AI system is going to be marking the students, do they need the teacher there? Some of them could be paid a little bit more, but we ain't going to talk about that right now. But regardless of all of that, doesn't that take away from the teacher? Because if you look at the core of the situation, you see that the AI is marking the students live. So do you even need the teacher? Because you won't have to deal with the teacher being grumpy, because it can happen. The teacher can have a bad day. The teacher is still human. So you don't have to deal with that side. You don't have to deal with prejudice, because yeah, we're still humans, and there are bad people out there that happen to be teachers. And of course, it's going to be a weird system, because our system is a little bit weird in itself, because we have to memorize stuff and then just write it down on a piece of paper. That's basically what we did. Obviously, I can remember about stuff that I learned, not to the full extent of it, but yeah, something stayed, I would say.
Happy birthday is witchcraft. Touch wood is an ancient magic ritual to summon the tree spirits. Turning the lights off and chanting happy birthday while blowing out candles and making a wish is a form of magic rituals. Black mirrors were used to contact spirits, and we use them every single day. They were called scrying mirrors. Scry became screen. When you are praying, you are trying to cast a spell to change reality with your words. The word abracadabra translates to I will create with my words. This is why we call it spelling. It's a spell. Birthday rituals are making you age quicker. When we say how old are you, we are tricking our subconscious mind that we are old. When you jinx something, this is a jinn, which is an invisible creature within the astral planes.
I mean, touch wood is kind of wild to say, I ain't gonna lie.
You need to do better.
I can't even sing happy birthdays now. Bro, why is everything witchcraft nowadays? Why? Let me live. Let me have a good day. But even if you come up with a new way of celebrating your birthday, this guy is gonna put you on TikTok and call you a satanic. And how are you gonna take that away from me? From Italians? You can't take that away from Italians.
Oi! Boys!
What the hell?
You better run, run, run. Here we come.
What the
Ready
fuck?
or not, pushing open guns, you're cruising. Bow, bow for a bruising. Why are you bumping into me?
What, you bumping into me?
Boy, should I beat him up? Beat him up. Give him a wedgie. Should I give him a wedgie?
What? I don't want to
Wedgie,
wait. I don't want to
wedgie,
wedgie.
wedgie.
Oh.
Listen, I Wait, come off the road, come off the road, come off the road. We do not want to get injured. I'm gonna tell you something right now, yeah?
What?
If you ever bump into me again in your life, there's gonna be a problem. Do you know who this is right now?
No.
This is Boogie Bandit number 1.
What?
And do you know who this is? This is Boogie Bandit number 2.
What
and
the
I'm number 3.
Oh
so you better not mess
days.
with us. Should we sing the song one more time for him, guys?
One more
Sing it.
time.
You better run. Here we come. I bet you're not pushing open guns, you're cruising. Pop for a bruising. Don't mess with me, bro. Don't ever. I'm telling you, don't mess with me, bro.
Okay, I won't mess with
Should I
you.
give him another wedgie?
One more wedgie.
No,
Let's go.
no,
Let's
no.
leave him alone. I think he has enough wedgies.
Yeah,
Let's go,
sure.
guys.
Oh,
I ain't gonna lie, I would be scared if I was approached by YNs like this. What? Bring back the old days, bro. Bring back what we doing here? Where you from? This is creepy, bro. But kudos to them. I believed them, especially the bandits. These needs to actually work with them. Listen, the internet is the wild, wild west nowadays, so we've seen crazier things. It could happen. They could get hired.
This is how you survive an apocalypse. This is a real world scenario that can happen to everyone. This video is to ensure that everyone is equipped for scenarios like these. You are watching TV and suddenly an alert comes up. Immediately, your fight or flight response are activated because there is a message of an unknown virus sweeping through continents. This illness or virus, or whatever it is unlike any other illnesses that have happened in history. It's unlike COVID, the Spanish flu, and even the Black Death can't even compete with this virus. This virus quite literally exploded, and scientists don't even know what it is. That's the terrifying part about it. This is what you must do in the first 24 hours. First, let's start with the first 20 minutes. Accept that this is happening. Denial will kill you. Do not wait for the government, the media, or even social media to tell you that it's real. I repeat, do not treat this as a drill. This goes especially if things feel wrong. If you can hear that there's urgency in the streets, beeping, screaming, violence, especially in a place that should be silent, every second you delay is ground lost. You know what the apocalyptic event is. No need to observe. You must do this. Secure water immediately. Fill the bathtubs, fill the sinks, make sure that they are all filled. Doesn't matter if they're overflowing. Find every receptacle or container you can find, be it a bucket or a Tupperware. Fill them up with water, every single last one of them. Always remember that once infrastructure fails, water supply stops running or becomes unhealthy or dirty. You will need enough to last you at least 2 weeks at bare minimum. Lock and barricade your doors immediately. Every single windows, every single doors. Contrary to popular beliefs, this should be your next step, not going to the next shop and gathering food. Always remember that no matter how many canned foods or goods you have, if you can't protect yourself in your own home, there's no point. Lock your doors and windows. Make sure they're all secure. Make sure that you're unseen and unheard. Right now, the world is extremely loud, but it will soon start listening. Whether it's the infected, looters, or simply terrified survivors, you do not want to draw attention to yourselves. Your next step should be to arm yourself. Find something. Anything. An axe, a gun, a knife, a baseball bat. What should matter to you is what it does. Always remember that if you ever hesitate when someone goes through your door, you will not get a second chance. Every fighting chance matters. This is what you should do next. Stay indoors. Stay off the roads. Do not go to the shops. Do not travel unless it's absolutely necessary. The only reason why you should go to these following places is the following. 1, you don't have enough food to last you 2 weeks. 2, you don't have any medical equipment, not even medicine. 3, if you have any dependents such as children or infants, you must get them all the resources necessary for them to survive. 4, you're completely isolated and early, meaning to say you live in a rural area and you might have a fighting chance to go to the shops first. Other than that, do not go to the shops. Stores are traps. So are gas stations. Basically anything outside your own home is a trap. Always remember that if you ever go into these places, you're basically going for a place where desperate people will kill for a loaf of bread or a gas for fuel. Forget about laws, policies, or regulations. People will fend for themselves. It's every man for themselves. I repeat, do not go to the shops or the gas stations or even go to the roads at all unless absolutely necessary. Next step should be to gather everything and make a plan. How much food, how much waters, or especially how much days you can last without going outside. From here on out, every calorie is a survival. Once you've done all of that, if you are fortunate and it's still daytime, you must prepare for nighttime. Turn off all the lights, turn off all the devices, especially ones that make noise. Keep all the windows covered. No sound, no smell. Light travels and so does smell. You should know this. Do not make any noise, do not make a sound. Anything that screams someone is alive in this house is quite literally an invitation to die. If you've just managed to survive the first 12 hours, then I salute you because most people will not survive this long. If you're alone, you might be at an advantage. This is because everything you do now is on your own terms. If you set up parameters and go for a watch, you can actually protect yourself better. This is because having other people with you will put you at more risk because if one person makes a noise, it's over. But regardless, what you must always do is stay silent, observe, and do not make a noise. Part 2 will be coming soon. God bless and stay safe.
Why does it feel like he's actually going through it? Did he even blink in the whole video? This was 4 minutes. That's crazy. That was nuts. It is well that some people do believe this, especially millionaires, people that got a shit ton of money. No common folk is gonna worry about this. You really want to be in a world after an apocalypse. No one's gonna be there, and people that are there are just mean. And in all honesty, if you really think about it, if an apocalypse starts and you're in your house and you don't have canned food, you don't have water, you don't have none of that, you're already screwed. You're already done for, mate. I'm sorry to tell you, but it's just the truth, isn't it?
Everything counts. Everything that you read, everything that you listen to, everything that you watch on television, every magazine that you pick up, every conversation that you have, positive or negative, is affecting your subconscious mind, which is programming your future. Remember, your external world is a reflection of your internal world. Your external world is a reflection of your internal world. If there is negativity, concern, anxiety, fear in your internal world, then it's going to be reflected in your external world. So be sure that what you're taking into your mental diet is just as pure as what you would take into a physical diet if you wanted to sustain high levels of physical health and energy. Absolutely important. Feed your mind with books, feed your mind with tapes, feed your mind with positive conversations, feed your mind with courses. Go and attend and listen to experts. Feed your mind with positive people. Poor people should take rich people out to lunch. Why? Because taking a rich person out to lunch is an opportunity to learn from that rich person, to get information from that person that you could not buy at any price. Poor people should take rich people out to lunch.
I don't know about buying a rich person lunch. Well, not any rich person. It doesn't necessarily mean that they have something to tell you about. Yeah, I understand. I understand the thought behind it. I understand. And it's very true that you need to surround yourself with good people. Talking about people that strive to learn, that want to learn, are eager to learn, and are open to new ideas. And what you have to do, what I was told since I was a kid, is you have to introduce yourself in every single environment. You have to learn how to behave, either with poor people, rich, a doctor, a butcher, whatever. And always approach stuff with an open heart.
So you're saying Antarctica wasn't always frozen?
There's a massive hole in Antarctica. You can see it on Google Earth and about 30 meters wide. But here's the weird part. Around that hole, there are bases, research stations. And each base, it's named after a different country. Every major nation has a presence there. They're all studying whatever's in that hole. But that's not even the craziest part. About, I'd say, 15 to 30 miles behind that hole, there's a gigantic pyramid. I'm talking massive. Way bigger than the ones in Egypt. You can see its complete apex. It's been featured on the History Channel, Ancient Aliens. It's not a secret. It's just there. Now, how did a pyramid get in Antarctica? No sand, no tools, just ice. Well, Antarctica wasn't always frozen. That continent, it shifted. The Earth's crust slipped, moved the landmass all the way to the South Pole during a pole shift. Rapid, violent. And here's the scientific proof. As the ice melts thanks to global warming, they're finding animals buried in the ice, perfectly preserved. And when they dissect them, undigested food, still in their stomachs. You know what that means?
They froze instantly?
Exactly. Flash frozen. Something catastrophic happened. Fast. And nobody's talking about it.
Oh, this is just a theory. Oh, okay. The first comment speaks about this, but I've said this before as well. People actually don't know about Pangaea. How do you not know about this? And the argument for the animals having food in their belly, undigested food, like, you can explain that a different million ways. But I will agree that Antarctica is kind of weird. I don't know why they have to keep, like, every single research over there kind of a secret. They don't really delegate to the public what are they actually doing there, what countries are involved in the research there. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. But if you want to learn about the war in Ukraine, just turn on the TV.
You know, at night when you have to turn the lights off in when we are doing, you know, at night when you have to turn the lights off in your house and you get to that last light and you switch it off and it's completely dark and it feels like all of a sudden your house has now become the most haunted house in the world and you have to make a run all the way back to your bedroom. There might be something to that. Now, when we are doing this, right, we put ourselves in a vulnerable position. And I think anything negative, any kind of spirit that is a negative entity knows this. This is the best time to scare us. And they're trying to see if they could scare us just a little bit to gain entry and to allow them permission to come into our lives. So this is a story I heard out of Rockford, Illinois. There was this girl and she lived in this bigger house all alone. And it started to get late. She wanted to go to bed. So she starts going through her house, turning off all the lights. She gets to the last light, which is in the living room. And when she hits it off and it goes completely dark, she gets that feeling. Well, she walks through her living room, and as she walks past her kitchen, she turns and kind of glances in, and she sees a woman, like in a white gown, just standing in the kitchen. And she's like, "Who are you? What do you want?" And the woman just starts walking towards her. So she takes off running to her bedroom. She closes her door, locks it, and she calls the police. The police show up, and she says, "Come inside, like there's a woman in my house. I'm in my bedroom, locked in there. I don't want to come out." So they go through her house, they search it, they don't find anyone. And they said, "Ma'am, are you sure you didn't just see something? Like, are you just tired and maybe there was like a hallucination?" And she goes, "No, I'm for sure there was a woman in my kitchen." So they said, "Well, we can't find anything. You probably are just tired. Why don't you just go to bed?" So they leave, and she goes back up to her bedroom. And when she lays down in bed, she kind of feels like, you know what, maybe that was just, in my head. Maybe I'm just tired and I need to get some sleep. So as she turns around to adjust herself in the bed, there is the woman standing right next to her. And she jumps up, she runs out of her house, and she said as she's in the front of her house, she can see the woman looking out of her window, staring at her.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. It felt like you just came up with that on the spot. But let's tackle the first thing you said though. When you turn off the last light, meaning it's full dark in your house, you get scared and you run towards your bedroom or whatever. I would argue that happens because of past generations. Humans have always been afraid of the dark, because since the time the humans were living in caves and the fire went out, that's when the bad stuff would start to creep in. Mostly because animals are hunting at night, innit?
Did you know that if you climb this mountain and successfully reach the top, then you will get superpowers? Superpowers, huh? Bro, you completely lost your mind. That's crazy. No, I didn't. Because the locals of this place say that if you reach the top successfully, then you will encounter a paranormal thing that will either turn you to a smart man, so a wise guy, or a fool, so basically a crazy guy. This place is called the Haunted Mountain of Harfa, and I will tell you a story of a group that tried to climb the mountain to see if this is true or not. See, I'm not sure, but I think you heard the word haunted, so you know what to do. Save this video and come back to it at night so it's more enjoyable like that. The whole story starts when a guy who lives around these villages right here decided to leave his home at night. I don't know why he left at night, probably had some business to do. But anyways, when he was walking, he saw a car with 4 guys in it. Now, when the 4 guys who were in the car saw the other guy, they immediately left the car and went to talk with him. These 4 guys literally said, "Please sir, we need you to help us, please." So as you can see, we're not from here, we're from Turkey by the way, and we're not familiar with this area. So can you help us? So the guy who's from this area responded, "You do know guys that this is not an area for tourists. I mean, I would have loved to, but you see, when you got that scary mountain behind, for me, impossible." The 4 guys heard this, they were like, "That's exactly why we need your help." Because you see, initially we were 6, but 2 of us left to go climb that mountain. Like, 2 of your guys went to that mountain? Alright, they're cooked. Bro, what? What do you mean? And I'm just saying they're deprived. I mean, call it what you wanna call it, they're probably by now. Bro, so are you helping us or not? I said what I said, but you know what? I will help y'all. So finally, they decided to head to that mountain together, in this car. 5 guys in 1 car. I can tell y'all that they were fighting for their breath before even arriving. Back to the topic. They arrived to the mountain and they started climbing.
You see the lights? Yup, those are the lights of the villages. Look how far they are. Oh, they kept walking trying to find the two guys, and finally they found one of them. He was hanging in a really weird way. So you know the guys, they were like, hey yo, you can release now, we got you. Oh, this guy while hanging, he was like, I can't release. They were like, bro, what do you mean you can't release? Just release your fingers, you will fall, we will catch you, that's it. He was like, I can't release my fingers. I'm really trapped, look at my hands. They looked at his hand, they looked at the cliff, all of it was red. If you know, you know. He really can't move, he can't do anything. His hands are hurting so much, he stayed like this for hours. The group is here for a long time already, and he just couldn't move. But when they all got distracted because they tried to find a rope, you know, something tall enough to bring him down, the guy fell. Like this was intentional. Something was waiting for them to get distracted enough so he can... This guy in front of the group as a warning. Thankfully, two of them caught him before hitting the ground. So when he got down, normally they asked him, where is the second guy? You know what he said? He said that the mountain separated us. This only means that the second guy is way more further than this one. When the group heard this, they were not trying to risk it. They were like, you know what? Something can happen to us if we try to go up. Let's just call the police. Then, remember the guy who's from here, from this area? Yep, he was like, yeah, funny joke. No signal here. Man, what? For real? I mean, guess what? Let's just get back to the car and head to the closest police station, I guess. Yeah, but hold on. If we all go to the police station, what if something like this happens again? If we are on the police station, if the second guy falls, nobody's gonna catch him. My idea is two of you guys stay here with the car, so if the guy falls and he's hurt, you can straight take him to the hospital. Bro, are you a genius by any chance? Did you got the power because you climbed the mountain, something like that? No, I'm seriously asking. Is he a genius, man? That's scary. Four of the guys went to the closest police station and two of them stayed in a car. Short moment after, something fell and nearly broke all the car. Obviously the guy. But this leads us to another question. Why is this happening to the people who are trying to climb that mountain? Remember the name? Yup, the haunted mountain of Harfa. Locals really believe that jinns live in this place. Why are they saying this? Well, let's take this gate for example. This gate becomes the rock whenever a human being is approaching this area. And you need to enter this gate in order to climb the mountain. If the gate becomes a solid rock, well, you either can't see it because there are too many rocks, or simply you can't enter the gate anymore. People from these villages also hear loud knocking and music whenever night comes.
I was about to mock the group of tourists because he does that, but then I thought, yeah, I would probably do something like that. Go to a random country and just visit haunted places, trying to find a ghost. But this story reminds me of that dog bridge, where dogs just can't pass the bridge because they will just jump to their death.
Is this nigga serious?
But I'm glad they had that local guy. He was the only smart guy there. Because first rule of scary situation is do not separate the group. But if you're going to do it, at least spread it evenly.
I got my boots, I got my hat, I'm bringing country back. I got my boots, I got my hat.
I know this isn't AI, but it sure looks like it. Because you can see his back paws, they're literally right there, but it's kind of weird.
Psychopaths cannot be rehabilitated. There is nothing currently that works to treat them or rehabilitate them. Because the thing with psychopaths is that they will mimic back any emotion. They will tell you whatever you want to hear. They will tick those boxes. They're chameleon-esque. So how do you know it's genuine? Too many people just don't understand psychopathy. And the offenders, the psychopaths, can be very charming, very plausible, very manipulative, very coercively controlling. And yet there are parole boards probably happening now deciding to release someone because they've said all the right things, they've ticked all the right boxes. But that still doesn't make them safe because the mind is the problem. So no, they can't be. Currently, present day, they cannot be rehabilitated and they are not safe to be released. Psychologists who work within the settings where there are psychopaths like Levi Belfield, they would argue that we just haven't found what works. So we shouldn't stop trying to find what works. But how do we teach empathy? How do we teach compassion?
That's kind of the reason why we haven't found a cure for that, because you can't teach empathy. It's something that you kind of learn, and if you haven't learned that in your early stages, you can't really acquire that afterward. I don't think there will ever be a cure for psychopaths, which is kind of crazy to say, but society has functioned even with psychopaths. People immediately attribute psychopaths to killing, things of that nature, but it isn't. Most psychopaths are running companies, like big companies. Back in ancient times, they were the greatest warriors. Nowadays, they are the greatest businessmen. With that being said, guys, appreciate you for being here. Have a good day. Take care of yourself.